So we're back. Okay. So what I did was restart everything. I don't know if Rumble's going to come through or not. I think the other stuff is backwards compatible. Like you can go backwards and do some stuff in there, but I don't know that you can do it inside of Rumble. Facebook Personal you can. I've never tried it anything else, so I don't know. But we're just kind of stuck with what it is what it is. But we did get rid of the vertical on YouTube, so you guys can tell me if that works now. I do see, and Mary Mathis is your moderator over on TikTok. I tried to make her a moderator. It wouldn't work, so now we have to work on that later. But for now, I don't see that we're buffering. I can see, here's what I can see. I can see TikTok and I can see Facebook Blue. James Cote is over on Facebook Blue. Anthony Horton is on Facebook Blue. John Daniels checking in.
Rumble is back.
Mark Bingham. Wow, Rumble was backwards compatible. Johnny O digging that. Good stuff there. All right. Neighbors across the street taking a look at me through the window thinking I'm crazy. They're trying to figure out what's going on. They'll catch on sooner or later what's happening over here. They can be nosy. I don't mind. All right. So we're talking about today. If you guys listen to the podcast today, kgxdradio.com, we talked a little bit about phone call. We went to lunch the other day and a little advertisement in the paper for an old 1971 Dodge D300. Anybody wants to open up another tab if you're not on your phone? 1971 Dodge D300. It's a 1-ton, big old flatbed. And the guy says, yeah, I'm going to go to a car show. I'm sorry. He's like 95. And I could meet you tomorrow, but I got to go to a car show. It's behind the hospital at the old folks' home. There's a support of the car show is for they're doing a car show. It's I'm going tomorrow. Oh yeah, Alzheimer's. And no jokes. I didn't say, are you a patient? I did not say that because he's being kind. He's an old guy with a memory. And I really liked the guy. His name's Chuck. I really got to know him a little bit today. And so I went to the car show. I thought, well, not a big car show, 20 or 30 cars. I had to figure out where it was. Probably only one hospital because it's a one-horse town. Probably,
on a Thursday.
On a Thursday. How many car shows are there on a Thursday in a one-horse town? I found the hospital, and, well, behind it was an old folks' home. And there wasn't 12 of them. There was one.
It was pretty nice old folks' home.
It was. It even came with its own paramedic helicopter right there in the parking lot. Yes. And so I figured there's only 20 or 30 cars. There's about 60 or 80 people there. I just got to keep introducing myself until someone says, hi, I'm Chuck. That's going to be my guy. So,
but we put the feelers out when we got there with some of the people that were walking around.
Yeah, some of the, it was one of those car shows where more of the only people that were really there were the people bringing the cars. There wasn't as many onlookers, but all the old timers were participating in the fundraising event, which was good. But every time I'd walk up to a car, because there wasn't many people to talk to, whoever owned that car would race right out like a used car salesman. You want to know something about my car? You want to know how long I've had it? You want to know what year it is? You want to know what engine? I mean, and I talked to everybody I could, but she's right. We put out feelers as we're there. I said, well, I'm looking for a guy named Chuck. Like, oh, Chuck. We'll find Chuck. So the first guy that I ran into, what was his name again? Is that
Rick?
Jack? It was Rick
and Linda.
Rick and Linda. And Rick was cool. He had a cool hat. Rick had a smoking cool hat today. And so he's walking around, and I bumped into him later. And he's like, hey, did you find Chuck? And I said, no, I did not find Chuck. He goes, I'll tell you. And right there where I was with him, he's talking to 5 guys. But there's 20 guys sitting on lawn chairs under a tree. Is that you?
Nope.
That was you, wasn't it?
No, it's not me.
It was probably you.
It's you.
You are not a trained broadcast professional.
Shut off your balloons.
So he turns around to his group and says, all right, this is my friend. We're looking for Chuck. And there's probably several Chucks here. And so the guy sitting right next to him, he goes, well, Rick, I'm Chuck. And he goes, yeah, I know Chuck. Oh, you? Yeah. It's like, these guys have known each other 30 years. 30 years.
Oh, that was funny.
And he's like, I forgot you were even here, Chuck. He goes, well, I'm here, and my name's Chuck. And so Rick goes, well, Chuck, are you selling a 71 Dodge truck? And Chuck goes, why, yes, I am. How did you know that? He goes, because the buyer is here to meet you. No, I'm meeting him later. No, I know, but he's here. Where? Behind you. What? Behind you. So Chuck gets up. There I am. There he is. He's saying, oh, you're here.
But tell him Chuck was there with a different car.
Yeah, Chuck was there with an old Chrysler. We'll get to that. I got pictures of that. But I lost my wife. Couldn't find her. Usually, when she goes to a car show and she's gone, she's off flirting around. She's smiling. She's giggling. She's talking to men, because they all got more money than me. So she's not stupid. She's getting things lined up for when the old guy kicks the bucket, she can do some traveling.
And I had a cute dog with me.
You did. You had Ranger with you. So I finally found her, and there she is. And she's over at, I don't even know where you were. What was the name of that place called?
Dirty Sodas.
That's why you had to go check it out. Dirty
I didn't see what a
Sodas.
dirty soda is. My mind went somewhere else. But yeah.
So she goes over to Dirty, and that's where I caught him. Like, aha! So I snapped a quick picture of Gen X mom with dirty sodas for evidence. And there she is coming back, examining her dirty soda, which now I wanted to know what it was too.
It was a Mountain Dew Mango Tango.
Mountain Dew Mango Tango. See, this is the drag and drop section of the program. It means I get to drag, I get to drop. There she is coming back. And was it good or was it just okay?
Oh, it was delicious.
Dirty sodas always are. What can you tell you? So for those of you asking, Pigskin Pick'em, if the leaderboard has changed, go check it out, genxtalks.com. There's your quick plug for that one, honey, for Pigskin Pick'em and all you guys in there. All right. So here's the gig. So we're traveling along there, and I'm trying to find Chuck, and I'm having a good time looking at the cars and doing stuff. And where is it right now? See, let's see. So I'm trying to find. I think I had Chuck in his car. Yeah. Nope, not that one. Hang on. I'm looking for Chuck in his car. Got Chuck in his car, and there it is. That was Chuck. I wish Gen X Mom had taken a little bit better picture of this one. Because this old Chrysler, I think it was like a 62, but it had
I have buffering.
It had the headlights not on top of each other. The old car had high and low beams. Some of them had, remember, on top of each other. Most of them had side by side, and this one had them in a V. This one had you just can't quite see it. But the old boys had this car for a long time, so it's not quite stock, not quite factory.
Baby, I'm buffering again.
I'm not buffering on TikTok at all. And I'm looking over here on Facebook. Blue's not buffering, so it's you. We're good. I'm looking at TikTok, smooth as can be, and I'm looking at Facebook, smooth as can be.
I won't say it again.
And this guy, he was a really, but he's bent over not because he's getting in the car. He's bent over because he's 95, but he was such a wonderful man, such a nice guy. We talked about his car. We talked with all of his friends. We poked around this thing for a long time. It all worked out really good. So the thing here is if you guys notice the cover picture on your way in, this was the truck that I had talked to him about buying. I was interested. This is an old 1971 Dodge D300. It's a big 1-ton dual wheel in the back. It is just a 5-speed rock crusher granny gear transmission. Blue on white, looks like a big whale. This vehicle, it's so bright blue and bright white. This is what you'd see driving around SeaWorld after all the guests leaves. This is like their maintenance vehicle.
Drop 'em called it a Smurf truck.
Gonna go with SeaWorld on that one. Not gonna be associated with Smurf. But this was the truck, and it was just a couple $1,000s, but it had some things I was interested in, and I wanted to go see it. There's Chuck in his garage bent over. There's my truck in the background, and then the blue whale sitting there.
Oh, tell him about his clothes, though. That was so funny. So we were at the car show, and on the way over to his house, we called him and got the address of his house. And he goes, Mark, how's he doing? I'm home.
I'm home.
I changed into my work clothes.
I changed into my work clothes, so you can just come over whenever you want. And, of course, when we're at the car show, he says, he goes, I'll give you directions. Now, you go up 395 to the light, and you're going to turn right. But I don't want you to go turn right at the light because you're never going to get out in traffic. So what I want you to do is leave the car show and go around back. Go around back, as his voice was, go around back, and you come out on this street over here. And that way you're hitting 395 with a light. You can just cross it. So I want you to cross. And once you cross that, I want you to drive across the bridge. And once you drive across the bridge, it's going to be like a community. I want you to drive all the way through the community, up the hill and through it. Right. Now, when you get to the other end, if there's a stop sign, I want you to turn right. I said, well, what's the street? Oh, I don't know. It's not important. Just at the stop sign, you turn right. Well, there's 7 stop signs, but they were all before the hill. So he was right. After you get through and go up the hill, there's only one. That's the one you turn on. And don't worry about it. The street's going to change names 3 times, but when you get to the stop sign at the end of that one, you're going to turn left. Okay. What's the name of that street? He goes, oh, Liliac or something or other like that. Anyway, you head down that one to the next stop sign and turn right. Now, that one changes names twice, but it dead ends into my street. And he goes, you can't use GPS because now this is where I scored a few points. I lapped it up a little bit when I was under the tree with all the guys there sitting in the shade, and they're all sitting in their stuff. These guys are all over 65 to 85 years old. And he goes, you can't find my house, and they're all listening to us talk now. You can't find my house with a GPS. It never works. And I said, well, I'm really not a GPS kind of guy. Just give me an old school Thomas guide. Give me a map and I'm set. I'm telling you, it was almost like a round of applause. Here, yeah, that's a boy. That's the guy. That's our guy right there. And fuck GPS and goddamn Skynet computer shit. It was a well-rounded, yeah, that's our guy. They thought that I was too young to know some of the things I knew about cars. They're saying, well, what would you ask that question for? Well, because didn't your Chrysler at one point have, when you shifted gears, drive, second, third, they were push button on the dash. And he's like, oh, I didn't know you knew about that. Yes, that was my car did have that. There was a few things like that I said the right things at the right time, scored some points. When I said I was not a GPS guy, I was a folded out map guy, got some points there. And of course, trying to find the house with his directions, he listed all these crazy things. And when he got done, my wife goes, well, that's right up your alley. Central Oregon directions from the 80s. It was like, you got to be kidding me. So
never gave us the address of the house either.
No, we finally figure out where he is. We drive there, and of course, she's using her computer, just the map, Google Maps, to figure out the streets. And then there was the truck right in front of his house. And so we found it. But this is the other place I scored a few points. When he walked up, he says, "Sonny, do you have any trouble finding the place?" And I said, "No. You give good instructions." Followed your instructions, ended up right here, and he got a big smile. Like, that's right. Yep. Got the instructions. It was just respect. It was a little respect for the guy. He did give good directions. It was just hard to follow because he was saying them so fast, like I'd been there before.
And we knew the area really well.
Yeah, it was really tough. But
we haven't been over on that side of the city.
No, we hadn't been to that part of town, so that was new to us. So we did some stuff there. All right. Now, I want to show you some pictures of what we're talking about here. One of the things is there's Chuck in there. I showed you that picture. That was his, and that was the cover picture for the whole thing. I did that too. But one of the things, before I show you the back of the truck, I want you guys to know when I say a tote, a water tote, that you can put all sorts of liquid in, but you just call it a water tote. This thing, I wanted to get 2 of these and use them. And guess what? They do fit. If I can find this goddamn picture here, where'd it go? With the brush, with the tote, where's the tote? Bed. There it is. Okay. So this is a utility bed, and it's tall. It's a tall utility bed. The 301 tons, a little bit bigger, but I can put probably 3 of those totes in the back of that. So I'm like, okay, that'll go good. I can also weld one of my generators to this thing. That'll go good. I'm like, all right, we're batting 1,000 here. But I wanted you guys to know the tote would fit inside there. That was a big thing. Now, here's the side of it. There's the side of Big Blue. This is the side of Big Blue. And I thought I would doctor it up a little bit, just little Sanford and Son editing. This I hadn't purchased it, just talking to the guy, but I want you guys to get the vibe on what I was looking at after we followed his directions. I like that. Can you see what that says on your screen, honey?
Gen X Talks & Sons.
Gen X Talks & Sons, right on the door, all faded like it's been there forever. Gen X Talks & Sons. You see how I did that? I like that one. That worked out good. But again, this is just, we're just talking here about stuff. Now, the thing to remember, we had that picture right there. That's probably the best one, is to show you that. So he charged up the battery before we got there. Now, from the time he called and said he was home, and then changed his clothes and called us till the time we arrived, couldn't have been more than 20 minutes, 25 minutes.
It wasn't that long, yeah.
So he didn't charge this battery very much, but when I got there was nothing hooked up to the battery.
But he said he hasn't turned it over in 2 weeks.
He goes, you haven't started it in 2 weeks, try to give it a quick charge. And I said, well, do you still need to hook up the charger? He goes, no, I already did it. He couldn't have had it on the charger for more than 20 minutes.
I don't know.
So he goes in there and he steps on the gas pedal twice. Does anybody know why? Does anybody know why you step on the gas pedal twice in an old truck? I'll wait. Kind of an old school thing. Not sure if anybody knows what that reference is. Gen X Mom, do you know what that's for?
Priming it?
That's right. Priming the carburetor. What else would
Didn't they used to have like a little button on the dash that you used to prime it with
No.
back in the day?
No. They had a
Or was it on the floor?
No. There was no, the priming was you step on the gas pedal, that squirts some fuel in.
Oh, okay.
But on the dash, they used to have a choke.
That's what it was.
A manual choke. You're closing off the air. So I asked the guy, I said, I saw you pump it twice. Do you have a choke? He goes, no. The choke don't have a choke on it anymore. Put on an AFB carburetor, a few years newer than this. It's got an automatic choke, so we're okay there. But he liked that I asked.
Oh, yeah. This old man would have talked to you all afternoon.
It was
you
great.
were speaking his language.
Well, and I asked him, too, and I said, this is another scoring points with the guy. I said, how much fuel do you got in it? How much gas do you got? And he goes, well, now come on in here. And he's on the dash. He's got a fuel gauge. He flips a lever. He goes, this is the primary tank, and the gas gauge moved to a reading. This is the secondary tank, and the gas gauge moved to a reading. And I said, does that switch also switch the pump, or does it just switch the gauge?
Oh.
And he got a look like, wow, good of you to ask that.
You young whippersnapper.
You didn't have anybody ever ask me that question before. And he reaches over and he goes, the fuel switch is right here. The little valve, the petcock valve is right here on the side by the seat, which is where Ford and Chevy and a lot of people back in those days, you just had a valve you turn and the fuel pump would draw from one tank or the other. You just have to remember to switch the tank so you know what you're watching.
So if you see this picture, I was sitting on the grass with Ranger listening to these two guys talk. You know what? He is so proud of this truck.
He is.
Because he was trying to tell you, he's the one that, he goes, I just got the body for it, he did back in the day.
Yeah.
And he put the engine in, and he did
everything.
He did everything. So he's really, really proud of this truck.
There's a video I put up on Discord. I shortened it to a few seconds so you can see it. But the guy, he turned on the electric fuel pump. You can hear it rattle like those old fuel pumps did. And then he turned the key, and
it sounded good.
And it started like within 3 seconds. No banging, no ticking, no nothing. It just started up and went. And it ran good, and it sounded great. And the only problem that I had with it is that he took out the original seats and he put in some funky 1977 LTD, LTD2 or Ford Granada electric bench seat thing. And it's ugly, but it works.
Electric in a 71.
But I lowered the seat all the way down and I pushed the seat all the way back. There's like this much room between the seat and the steering wheel. Remember those big old boat steering wheels? There's no way I'm going to fit in behind the seat. I'm not even sure you would. There's just no room to get in there. So Gen X Mom would have to learn how to drive a rock crusher granny gear 5-speed on a big old truck with 71 power drum brakes, I believe, which would be a little bit of an adventure for her, but I don't think she can fit behind it either. So we went to the Sun Valley Fox and asked him. He was a little wary. He's like, well, maybe I could ride with Gen X Mom and I could just coach her through it. And if she really had a hard time, I could try to do it and get over it. Not that he doesn't have the ability, but he's got some broken parts on him that he's getting surgery on. And I don't want the doctor to go in there and need more surgery. I wouldn't mind
that if he'd go with me. I'd give it a shot.
He wants to go with you. That was his idea, to go with you.
Okay.
So anyway, there was it. The thing you guys don't realize, I'm going to show you this picture again, and you think this is like, oh, how beautiful. What a lovely paint job. No.
Oh, dude wants to know, are they manual window cranks?
Yes. Manual window cranks. Did anybody get the answer right why you pump on the gas pedal twice?
Yeah, they all did it.
What is it for the carburetor?
They were saying...
Prime the carburetor?
Yeah.
Yep. Anybody who got that right, that's old school. Anybody who knows how to drive with your foot in a carburetor's in a big hurry. Anyway, okay. So you think from a distance this thing looks good, and it doesn't. When I looked at the paint on this, and I really don't care, we're using it for a farm truck, but when I looked at the paint on this, I asked Chuck, I said, Chuck, did you paint this with house paint? With lacquer paint? and a brush. He goes, no. I went to San Pedro where they build the boats, and the old timers down there put them on. They put this on the bottom of those big old iron ships. So I figured if this is good enough for them on those boats in the salt water, it's good enough for me.
Rust-Oleum.
And he goes, and I got it in blue. I said, you most certainly
I
did.
wonder how many cans of Rust-Oleum he used on that.
I don't know, but I'm telling you, it's not done with. Here, look. Here's a really close-up view. Okay, that's a little, could use some. But look at it. It was done with a paintbrush. I'm telling you. These are paintbrush. Look at it close. It's paintbrush.
I told you, he really loves this truck.
And it's 17 layers thick. This paint, he's got 17 coats of primer and lacquer house paint on
now
this.
You know why it's not rusted.
It's not going to be rusted on top. No, never, not on your worst day.
Oh.
So what I did was I went to him and I said, okay. I said, Chuck, I said, I had to go talk to the Sun Valley Fox. I had to go talk to your brother because I can't fit my fat ass behind the wheel. I'm either going to have to get a smaller wheel or a smaller seat to sit in. Now, a lot of you would say, well, just get a smaller steering wheel. That's pretty easy. I can swap out steering wheels. I got the compression tool in my garage for the springs and everything and pull the collar up. No problem. Except, what if this truck, and I'm speaking to only the old school people here. If you're a young whippersnapper, you're not going to have a fucking clue to what I'm saying. But this is the old school people. So what if we take that 71 Dodge D300 and we put a small steering wheel on it so my fat ass can fit between the seat and the steering wheel? What if it's not power steering? You guys, anybody out there, raise your hand. Anybody remember manual steering? Now there's a bunch of people going, you're full of shit. They never made it. It's always power steering. What are you talking about? No, manual steering, the Fred Flintstone mobile, driving it with your feet. No, I'm telling you. There's a lot of cars back then that had manual steering, and they had a big steering wheel for leverage, and they had there wasn't rack and pinion, it was a gearbox, and it was geared appropriately, so you didn't have to put a ton of torque on it, but you ended up having to put a fucking ton of torque on it.
I believe that truck my dad had, that 63 or whatever, it did not. I mean, I remember
it's hard
cranking that puppy.
And the slower you're going in a parking lot,
hard.
You are just reefing on that thing. So I don't know. Now, if this truck has good power steering, I might be inclined to say, yeah, let's get a smaller steering wheel to start with. No big deal.
I'll let you know.
I'm still gonna change the seats on it, but if it's manual, no goddamn way could you change the steering wheel size on that. You'd never be able to do it. Speaking of Fred Flintstone, I get that it was a cartoon, but he did have a steering wheel. But his front wheel was one cylinder of stone. How would you turn that one cylinder of stone?
I don't know.
You know what?
Boy, we just went off topic.
Part of my childhood is ruined right now. I got to tell you, a little bit upset.
Ay.
So anyway, I was talking with Chuck, and he's got a brand new set of tires for it. He's got spare tires for it. He got spare tires on the rims. He's got an extra distributor. I don't know.
Danny says you'll break Chuck's heart if you change stuff on it.
I might. Yeah, I don't know. But he loved the idea that we were taking out to a little bit of acreage out there, and we were probably going to have it for the next 27 years. He loved that part of it. So I said, well, I got to go talk to the Sun Valley Fox to see if his narrow ass can drive it with his bad hips, bad joints, bad ankles, arthritis. I just figured I'd give him...
I fit in it. You had me sit in. I sat in the driver's seat.
I think I just give Sun Valley Fox like a triple dose of Geritol that day to have his 1 a day turn into 3 a days. I think he'd be okay. But he was a little bit hesitant. Not that he couldn't drive it. He's got the ability for sure. So I told Chuck, I said, I got to just make sure I can get it out of here okay. And I wanted to leave. I said, I just don't want you to sell it out from under me. And I said...
And what did he say? It takes someone special to like a truck like this.
Yeah, which is nice the way of saying that I was retarded. He thought I was a dumbass retarded guy. That's what
young whippersnapper.
Yeah, but I said, I'll tell you what. Let me do that. How do you feel about this, Chuck? I said, I'll leave you $200. And you give me a day or two to come back. We'll talk on the phone, but I'll give you $200. Don't sell it to somebody else. But if I don't come back in 2 days, you can keep that $200 and sell it to whoever you want. That money's yours. He thought that was a mighty fine proposition. He didn't see how he could lose with that one.
Joe Derek what's the motor in it?
It's a V8. It's a big block motor.
He said he put it in, didn't he?
Yeah,
I
he
thought
put it
he
in
said
out
he
of
put
something.
the engine in.
I want to say, God, what did he
remember.
tell me?
We forgot to take a picture of the motor.
It's got the distributor. It's got the distributor. The Chrysler engine's got the distributor in the front, and it's at an angle. That'll help you guys. I can't remember. Was that a 440? Was the 440 like, I saw those in trucks and station wagons even. Was the 440 the one that had that the angle distributor went right in the timing chain cover? Because that's what it had. I don't know that he told me. I don't think he said 400 though. I thought he said. Did he say a 3?
I'm looking to see.
Wasn't there an old 71 Dodge that had a 386 or a 383 Dodge? I know those are Chevy numbers with the 383, but anyway, it's a big wide engine. It's a wide V. It's a big block engine, it looks like, and it's got the distributor at an angle in the front. It's not the distributor in the back. So that's what I'm thinking. But it's a big beefy motor. It sounds really good. He's changed it over to.
What about all that he had to walk? He had to walk around the whole truck and open every door. But tell him what he did with me.
Every cabinet, everything. When we're under the hood, he said he was very proud. He replaced the points system. That's what he meant by solid state electronics. He meant solid state ignition. But he's got extra distributor, he changed it. This 71, he said a 71 had an old generator on it. The old style generator, he changed it over to an alternator. I wouldn't have thought 71 still, but maybe big trucks still had generators, but he changed it over. Used to have the big old long black generator. He changed it over to an alternator. He had the rectifier mounted up on the firewall. He did a good job, started and ran. So he's going around showing me every little thing he's done to the truck and why. Which a lot of it was good. And then he got to a part and he's opening up every side compartment, and he opens up one and he goes, now here's all you got your flares and you got your ropes and you got your stuff, and in this compartment over here you got your extra tools and your spare tire, and in this compartment over here you got well, these are well, these right here, they're soup cans. These are soup cans. These are, and he starts looking around. And I couldn't figure out why he wouldn't finish telling me what he's doing with soup cans. And he's looking around, and finally he looks behind him and he sees Jennick's mom and the dog sitting on the grass, right where she took that picture from. And he goes, oh, there you are. Let's just say you got some soup cans in here in case you're out in the middle of nowhere and you need to relieve yourself. Well, I'm thinking I'm just going to piss on the side of the road. But some of you guys listen to the podcast today, you know that the kid had a blowout in his tire at 3 o'clock in the morning on Highway 395 coming home from work. So we have to go down to a tire place, take the Gen Z kids, Briggs' truck down. Now, how this will go tomorrow, if everything, I did text the Sun Valley Fox. I said, I called him and said, did the warden say you can get a work release? I need to know if St. Donna's going to let him out of jail tomorrow. And I texted him and said, did your mom say you can come out and play? He wrote me back and said, yeah, my mom said I can play tomorrow. So tomorrow what the plan is, I will go down with Briggs. We'll go over and pick up the Sun Valley Fox and Briggs truck. We'll take it downtown to Carson, drop it off to get the tires he needs. And then we will head back to here to the Loop Studios, pick up Jennick's mom and Briggs, the Sun Valley Fox, Jennick's mom and I, and maybe a dog. I'm bring Ranger with me. We'll go back over here. We'll talk to Chuck. We'll give him the money. We'll get the paperwork, and we'll drive that thing away. And there will be lots of pictures, lots of stories about these two. It'll look like the Keystone Cops with these guys trying to get their little like Larry, Moe, and Curly. But Briggs stepped up. He goes, I can do this. I could drive this. I go, you've never driven a stick. He goes, well, is this an easy one or a hard one to learn on? I went, well, the truck would be hard to learn on for the size of the truck. But as far as you fucking up a clutch, you're not going to fuck up this clutch. You're not. You might, if I put you in an old Mustang or a BMW or something, yeah, that kid would have smoked that clutch learning how to drive.
Kid.
Couldn't get it through the neighborhood. And we got to go, well, make sure you're talking. I'm going to put you on screen. Okay, now you're on there. You're on with me.
Yeah.
I'm going to look at something here while we're doing this. I'm going to run a speed test.
All right, well, we're there.
All right, just running a quick speed test to see if it's what's going on everything. And it looks like our download is terrible. Our download is 100. That is barely anything on download. We're usually around 475. Now it's coming up to about 160. That's still terrible download. I can't wait to see the upload. Well, the upload, can you believe our upload is almost 300? That is, I've never had that anywhere but Minden, Nevada. Do they run it uncapped? Everywhere else, they reduced, everywhere else spectrum in the country that I've done any sort of thing on at all, they keep it around 30 to 35. So it does have terrible download, but our upload was good. Anyway,
we're back up.
So I guess Gen X Mom's not going. I was hoping she'd take pictures, and this would be for some good content. You guys remember in California when she's trying to get her ass in and out of the windows of the cars? I thought it would be wonderful, but apparently she doesn't want to participate in things I do because she doesn't love me, and she wants to do things by herself. She'd rather sit on the couch at home, eating bonbons, watching Oprah, than hang out with her gifted and talented and insanely handsome, with a gorgeous beard, wonderful husband who does everything she wants for her. So
I have been delightful this whole week with you.
What does that have to do with anything? Good. Do it again tomorrow.
I even found the truck for you.
I have the Janet Jackson attitude right now. What have you done for me lately?
A lot.
And tomorrow, what have you done for me lately? I got
Not
the Janet,
that much.
That's what I'm trying to say. So anyway, that's what we're going to do tomorrow. We're going to gather everybody up. We'll get Briggs' truck down for the tires. Yes, everybody, get your panties in a knot. We did talk to Costco Jimmy. And now, Costco Jimmy can do a lot of stuff for us in the tire department, but what he can't do is adjust the tire prices on a big corporate entity. He's not allowed to do that. So his hands were tied. It was still better than Les Schwab. But Sun Valley Fox... He knows a guy. He knows a guy down in Carson. Tires got him in stock. Bring cash. Unmarked care of that. We should get this all done tomorrow. And it looks like if we get here, and in the meantime, we're at the Loop Studios hanging out with everybody we can get our hands on. It's a lot of fun. That's about it. Once you go back between the sheets, is there anything you're behind on?
I will do my best. We keep going out all the time. Let's see. We got a bunch of gifts. Damn It Man on TikTok said, I drove a 68 Ford truck for years. No power steering. We got Firewood Dart in TikTok. We got gifts from Pence, West Virginia fella, I guess. Music.
Okay.
Damn It Man sent gifts. Let me see. Sean MacArthur sent 200 stars on Facebook for the General and Mama X. Stay blessed. Aaron Heath said, did it remind you of a Friday night cruise in the Boulevard from back in the day?
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff in there. They weren't all polished. There was a few rat rods. There was a few work in progress. There was some stuff that were daily drivers with dings all over. There was quite a mix of stuff over there. It was a good crowd for sure.
Let's see. Doug on Facebook wants to know, does he have to hit the high beam button on the floor?
Yep, the high beam button is on the floor. Briggs, Gen Z kid, will have no clue to what that is.
Yes. Robert on Facebook says, you could also push away from the table earlier a while. That's what he said to you.
I've lost 129 pounds so far, dumbass. I'm doing just fine on pushing away from the table, asshole. If you actually followed the program, you'd know that when you said that comment, you were already stepping on your dick.
Well, he said he's
Oops.
all grown and knows that I wasn't actually picking on him. He was messing with you.
I don't care. It hurt my feelings, you motherfucker. I'm a sensitive big guy. Go ahead. What else we got?
That is it.
All
We're
right.
good.
Well, if the light is green, the trap is clean. Sorry for all the buffering. We are not on the Mac. You can't blame the Mac. All you haters, you got to get off the Mac. Got to get off the Mac. We're on the CDL. We're on the Christina Dvorak laptop. It was expensive. It's high powered. It's not the problem. It's running smooth as can be. No glitches, no bitches, no nothing on my end. However, we did discover the Spectrum, our download speed was horseshit. I think what we're going to have to do is go and this is the time of night too. Thursday, we do a show at this time of night. This whole neighborhood shares one node. So there's a bunch of people online that starts to choke it down a little bit. I don't know if they can get us a dedicated line or if we just need to get a dedicated bandwidth through a better modem. We'll have to go talk to Spectrum about that. Probably have to do that on Saturday and see what they say. But we'll put that on Gen X Mom's list, which means it won't get done. And we'll all be talking about this for the next 6 weeks. You're welcome, America. And Denmark. You got that piece of information for free. All right, if we're done here, say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night, Gracie.
Thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you guys for listening in. Not sure where you're tuning in from around the planet, AM, FM, Sirius XM, or perhaps you tuned in on the Armed Service Radio Network. Remember 2 things in life. Number 1, wherever you go, there you are. And number 2, I'll catch you guys on the flip side. I'm out, baby.